In this video, we're going to learn about implicit differentiation. So there are two types of functions. So this is an explicit function. So this is what you're used to seeing, where it's y equals and then some x here. Taking the derivative of these functions is pretty easy. All you have to do is, in this situation, you use the power rule, and y prime would equal 2x plus 6. But this is an implicit curve. So you could try solving for y in order to find y prime, but you realize you actually can't solve for y in here. So this is where implicit differentiation comes in. In order to find the derivative of this curve, we have to use a workaround. So the first step is always to take the derivative with respect to x. So that would be d over dx to both sides. All right? So let's go through the terms individually. The first term, 2x, this is pretty simple. You should know how to do 2x with respect to x, or x squared with respect to x. That'd just be 2x. But now, since we're taking respect to x, how do we do this y? We see that these variables don't match, so we can just do this normally like it were an x, but we always have to multiply by dy over dx for implicit differentiation. And then same thing with this 3y. We do 3 times dy over dx. That's always how it is. And then the other side would be 6 plus x, so derivative of 6 is 0, and then x derivative is 1. So we always have to multiply by dy over dx. And then in order to find y prime, well, we know that y prime means find the derivative, which also means dy over dx. So dy over dx and y prime are the same. So let's just isolate this. We can subtract this 2x over, so we get 1 minus 2x equals, then we'll factor out the dy over dx here, so dy over dx times 2y plus 3. And then we'll divide by 2y plus 3. And then we get that dy over dx equals 1 minus 2x over 2y plus 3. And that is the answer for this one. Implicit differentiation is not super hard. All you have to do is remember to multiply by dy over dx. All right, for this next example, we have cosine of xy equals x over 2. So again, we're going to start by taking derivative of both sides with respect to x. And then on the left side, we have to use the chain rule. So derivative of the outside, so cosine of something turns into negative sine of that something, which is xy. And then we have to multiply by the inside. Now, for derivative of x times y, we have to use the product rule because they're two different functions. So let's start that. So we do the derivative of the first, turns into 1, multiply by y, add x times derivative of y would be 1, but remember, multiply by dy over dx. All right, and notice we did not multiply by dy over dx here, because we did not take the derivative of a y. We took the derivative of the x and then multiplied it by a y. And then this equals, derivative of x over 2 is 1/2. All right, so now let's divide by negative sine of xy in order to try and isolate that dy over dx. All right, and we get 1/2 over negative sine of xy equals, and then we'll simplify this a little bit, we get y plus x dx, or x dy over dx. All right, and then we'll subtract y, so we get 1/2 over negative sine of xy equals, or this is minus y. Sorry. And that equals x times dy over dx. Our last step is to divide by x. So we know that dy over dx equals 1/2 over negative sine xy, and this is all minus y over an x. So that is our answer. We could simplify it a little bit, but it's not super important. All right, next we have the natural log of y plus 4x equals y plus 9. So for this one, again, we're going to take dy or d over dx to both sides. Messy there. So the first thing here is the natural log of y. So we get 1 over y, right? And then derivative of the inside. So we're going to need to multiply dy over dx. And then this is plus. This is just going to be 4, where the variables match, dx and x. This equals, then we just have a y here, so that turns into 1 times dy over dx. This is plus, and then 9 turns into 0. So now we have a couple variables here. Let's move this variable to this side, the 4, and then subtract dy dx. So minus dy dx, and then a minus 4. All right, so we get 1 over y times dy over dx minus dy over dx equals negative 4. All right, so we can factor out dy over dx. And then that is 1 over y minus 1 equals negative 4. Finally, we'll divide by 1 over y minus 1. All right, and then we get that dy over dx equals negative 4 over 1 over y minus 1. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. See you later.